Thank you for the stairs. Thank you for the stairs. Let me. Thank you. Say that louder.
I love you.
I love you too. There, right? Okay. Wow. It's good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for letting me come and share with you this day. In the note that I sent with an introduction to what my talk was going to be about today, I pointed out, shared that I had celebrated 20 years of ministry in June, 20 years from the time that I graduated from seminary, 20 years. I was just like, wow. So where better to be than here? Where better to be in there? So I say to you, welcome, welcome to Unity in the Olympics. Welcome, welcome. Do you remember, hi, you'll have to excuse me, my friends are here. Do you remember the very first time you entered this sacred space? And what it felt like, how you felt after you had been here? Was it something that you remembered? Did you feel the energy in this place? Yeah. You like it? Yeah, I like it too. I remember the very first time I was here. I had come to visit Pat and Charles Mawson after they had moved to Sequim in 2013. And they had been divinely led to this area by the beautiful trees. Charles was always out hugging trees, and the Joshua group. So those were the things that drew and attracted them when they started thinking about, did they want to relocate here from Texas? The Mawsons had been with me at our Unity Church in McKinney, Texas, and that was my first church out of school, out of ministerial training. And again, that was 20 years ago now. And I was honored to do their wedding service. They're there in McKinney, and the renewal of their vows just a few years ago here in the Great Northwest. So we've been together for a long time. That was the first visit to UITO, and it was a welcoming and warm greeting for me. I was entering another time in my life, a time of change. You have those that come upon you every once in a while, and it's like, okay, now I have to revisit everything, and do I still believe this, and does this fit, and what am I here for? Why am I here, and who am I? Now. So today I am at a new age in my life, in my being, and a new stage of my life. And I'm living in Issaquah over near Seattle. I'm in a lovely home that's nestled in the trees. I feel like I live in the forest with the mosquitoes sometimes, but my son Doug and his family are about 30 minutes away from where I live, so I see them usually about once a week for dinner. And she sends me home with leftovers. So it's great. It's great. And I'm making new friends there and adjusting to my new life, new to me, new how things are at this point in my life. And circumstances, including another attempt at retirement, as well as following up on various health challenges that have come up for me over the last several years. But again, the big theme for me is facing those recurring lifelong questions of who am I now and what is my purpose? What is my purpose? I come over to Sequim 2 to 3 times a year. to the Olympic Peninsula. I have friends here and I stay in touch with them. So I attend Unity in the Olympics on Zoom. And if I'm not here at Unity Olympics, then I'm at Unity Bellevue, or I'm at Unity Linwood, or Seattle Unity, or Unity Ocean Unity in Walpart, all of them on Zoom. And so it's a great variety, but I have to tell you, I miss the in-person hugs. I miss that very much. I miss the being able to touch people and to have a little tap on the knee when I walk by and saying hello and just having that shared energy. I miss that a lot. I miss that a lot. So where's Bill? I have to find a way to create that, right, Bill? Yeah. Okay, so when I do a message for a Sunday or whenever, the first thing that I always try to do is to go to Spirit. I try to go to Spirit and say, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to share? What are we doing today? And so this message comes in two parts. And the first part of the message is to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. And you have to forgive me if I'm a little teary. I bring love and gratitude from the one heart for you, each of you who are choosing to be in this part of the life cycle of Unity in the Olympics. So please know that I am so proud of you, each and every one of you, for your presence here and the work that is going on to support the thriving of this spiritual community, the ongoing life of this spiritual community, of which you are the core, and you are the right people here at the right time. So I'm so grateful for you. And I can see and I can hear your love and your desire for this community as I watch on Sundays on Zoom, and as I read information that is published, through your messages. I can see your willingness to bring your divine ideas up forward for consideration and discussion. Unity in the Olympics is a very special place. It's a very spiritual place. And it lives in the hearts and minds of many, many people who have been here across the years, over 50 years for this congregation. Not these people, but this congregation, this home for God's love. And there are more people to come. And so that's a part of this first message, is there are more people to come. And thank you for supporting this home for the people who will be coming. So if you will with me, just take a deep breath in. And relax and release that energy that you feel within you. Let go of any concerns that you might have about how this is all going to happen, how it's all going to fall into place, and know that God is in charge. The message, the guidance will come on what to do and when and how. And all we need to do is just follow that one step at a time. See people in your mind, see groups of people streaming into this community. Just see them coming in and passing Judith at the entrance, giving her big hugs and picking up a guide for today's service. All of that. See star in your mind's eye, the keeper of the food. And people are coming to practice the presence of Spirit. That's why we come here. That's why we come here. And the love, experience the love that is in this place. That's why we're here. I see many of you who are sharing how Spirit is communicating with you. and actively leading you to participate in this manifestation of the new UITO, the new unity in the Olympics. So as I see this, I am filled with great joy for your commitment, your courage, your compassion for the work, and for this community. So I say thank you. Thank you. Spirit says thank you. The second part of the message is my perspective. I bring reminders from Yeshua and from and Spirit of the practices and principles that will help you to create and maintain a living community. I bring the gift of perspective. Having been here, having been other places, having watched or participated in what has happened. My first church out of school, like I said, that's where I met the Mawsons, was in McKinney, Texas. And in the beginning, it felt like it was just God and me, just the two of us. And then a vision came to me, came into my mind, came into my heart. And what I saw in this vision was an island in the middle of this river, this flow of this great river. And I knew that it was the metaphysical place for this church. I knew that it needed to be in the flow of life energy. And so I held that vision, and I would spend time with that vision and that understanding and that feeling of the presence of Spirit, drawing and attracting all of the right and perfect people for the things that we needed to do, that we needed to accomplish in that church. Holding the space. Holding the space. I felt gratitude for the work that the presence of Spirit was doing to draw and attract these people to this church. It was called Unity Center of Light. And they did come. They did come. Teachers, leaders, musicians. The first song today was Wiley Beveridge. Wiley was my very first musician. And so one day I was in my house meditating, and I finally just put my hands on my hips like a little nasty girl and said, okay, God, if we're going to do this church, then I need a musician. That very afternoon, I had a call from Wiley, who had been a professional musician for 35 years with churches. And he had seen me speak at Unity Dallas, and he was interested in the new, smaller church, and could he help in any way? He became our very first musician and was with us for about 1.5 years before he moved on. But we had other musicians. We had a guy who came door to door selling vacuum cleaners. And when he met me at my door, he saw a keyboard in the background, and he came in and we talked. He played cello, and he hadn't played in years. And he said he would like to get his cello out and play. So then we had guitar, we had piano, we had cello. So we had music. It was just amazing. One of the most amazing things of the people that showed up, we had parents who had children, and they brought the children to the service. And we had teachers who would spend time and would work with the kids. It was an amazing experience. But what I want to convey is holding that vision, holding that space for Spirit to guide and direct what would happen next and how we would go and where we would go was the most important thing that I learned, was allowing Spirit to guide us, allowing Spirit to guide me. as to what should happen next. So, if I was going to have a relationship with Spirit, or if you were going to have a relationship with Spirit, what are some of the qualities that you would want to make sure that you had in that relationship? Peace. Joy, of course. Yes, ma'am.
Clearing all impediments, all judgments, all opinions and restrictions around what can be and what is, and allowing the full breath of the Spirit come in and not be impeded by any of those self-imposed restrictions.
Okay. Did you have something to add?
I was taking that in, but
Yeah.
sometimes we just need that reminder, don't we?
Yeah.
Surrendering.
It's a choice. It is always a choice how we respond to Spirit, or what we do in any situation. How am I going to be today when I show up? How after, I feel so out of practice at doing this because it's been a while since I've given a talk. So for the last 6 weeks, I've been working on this talk, and this is the 4th time I've written it. So it's like I don't really know what's coming out of my mouth today. It's but that's part of the process. Is just I am a vessel. I am here. I am willing to do what Spirit needs me to do today. And I understand where we are as a community and the changes that we're facing. But I also know that it's possible to have the creation of the dream that we have of what this church can be, based on we are loved, loving, and lovable. That can happen. That can happen. And we have to it's our job to hold the space for Spirit to work through us to make that happen. I believe. Anybody else want to say anything about that?
I believe!
Thank you. Feel better now. This last song that we played, One Power, and Michael Nahmad talks about all of the names for God. And I think it's really important for us to, as individuals, consider what name do we want to use for God? What does God want me to call him? What is the name? And representing, whatever those truths are in my heart about this relationship. When I was in training at Unity to become a licensed Unity teacher, I wanted to specialize in the pastoral care area. So one of the requirements was that you complete a clinical pastoral education unit for hospital chaplaincy. And I was living in Dallas, Texas at the time. Yay! And so the hospital that had that service, that training available, was Baylor Hospital. Baylor is a huge hospital in Dallas. Dallas is one of the largest 10 cities in the country. And Baylor is a very Baptist hospital. So I showed up on the first day, bright and shiny. And, one of the things that we talked about that day was that, the clients, the people, the families that come to Baylor, that we as chaplains would be serving, have different faiths. They're not all Baptists. There are a lot of Baptists that come there, but they're not all Baptists. They may be of some other faith, or they may have no faith, or they could be Jewish or Muslim or whatever. So as the chaplain, you have to walk into that community, that situation, that meeting with that person, where they are, and honor them, make them comfortable with whatever language that you're using. There's so much baggage that is attached to the name God from our history, our personal history, whatever it is that has helped us to shape that vision that we have of who and what God is. So that was one of the things that we had to do, was to select a name that we would use, that we felt comfortable with, but that we could make others comfortable with. Not that we were telling them what to think, but just to make it an open space where they could do that. So the names that I use, or you would often hear me use, was just Spirit, or Sweet Spirit, or One Heart. Those were the names that I chose. And I still use those, especially when I'm writing a prayer. What I would suggest for you is to take some time and be with Spirit, be in the presence of Spirit, and ask, what name shall I call you? Just as Moses did when he went up the mountain to get the tablets of the Ten Commandments. What is your name? And God said, I am that I am, or I am that I am. I am that one, the one. Other activities that I would encourage you. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. Like the lilies of the field, God takes care of all life. And what this is telling me is that if I have a desire, if I have a need, go to God first. Establish and hold that relationship with Spirit. And then anything, all the things that I need will come forth. Maybe not in the ways that I have exactly pictured it, but for the safe room for Spirit to move in the highest and best for my life. God says in Matthew 28:20, I am always with you. I am always with you, even into the end of this world. Always. In all situations. Even the hurricanes and the tornadoes and whatever, all of that. God is present. God is present in our lives, present with us in our everyday. I like to say everywhere and every when. God is there. One of the ways of prayer that has been most effective and most helpful for me across the years has been the mastermind prayer. And that is a 7-step process that Jack Boland, who was a Unity minister in Detroit years ago, put together. And it is a step-by-step process to establish a state of relaxation, to relax myself, first of all, and to release anything that is not serving me anymore. This no longer serves me. I release it. I let that energy go. To clear that energy as a safe and spiritual place for God. And then go through that process of asking, what is it that I want, what I need? And then the very last part of that is gratefully receiving. But always knowing that God, Spirit, the one heart, has my best interest at heart. That those are the things that help me get through the troubled times, or the insecure times, or the scary times. Those are the things that helped me. So one other thing is be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Ephesians 6:10. This is another way of establishing trust. Sometimes it's hard for us to trust Spirit. I can trust myself because I know what, and I feel like I have control over myself. But can I really trust God to come through with this? It's a choice. We have choices to make every day of whether or not I'm going to trust God today. I'm going to know in my heart that the highest and best is happening for me today. It's a choice. It's a choice. Okay, all right. Join me, if you will, for a centering meditation. We're going to practice some of these skills. First of all, we're going to start by relaxing. So find a comfortable position and just relax. If you take a deep breath, hold it for a second or two, and then gently let that breath exhale. Allow your eyes to gently close. And begin to focus your attention within. Go to that quiet place, that safe place within, that sacred place of connection with the one power. Open your heart, open your mind to the presence of Spirit. Exhale, releasing all concerns and negative emotions. Affirm with me, I am so blessed by the ever-present essence of Spirit overflowing goodness into my being. Just allow that to wash over you and through you, that power, that energy. As I move through my day, I celebrate the guiding presence of Spirit in my life. The presence is always there, always there. I set my intention to focus on the light of Spirit, for I know in dark times the right path is illumined for me. I think only of peace, joy, love, abundant goodness of the one heart, the one Spirit. I release any doubt, fear, worry. All these things are overcome by the power of divine ideas. Any concerns about a current challenge dissipate as I celebrate the ever-present goodness of Spirit. My life is blessed in countless ways. Feel that. Feel that energy moving through you. I am blessed. My life is blessed in countless ways. And so it is. Amen.